let's dive right into it. You and I, of course, met at the, like so many of my friends, at the Durango Songwriters Expo many, many years ago. And you're a videographer, and you served as our videographer for many, many years at the expo, and it recorded thousands and thousands of people performing at the Durango Songwriters Expo. But you're also a songwriter in your own right, and a performer, a performing songwriter. And you started doing this thing called TikTok. But how did you discover TikTok, and how did you start it, using it as a way to frankly, as a way to make money?
I think I started it back when we all kind of discovered it. Those of us that did, it was during the pandemic. It kind of appeared. That's when it like really took off because we were all stuck at home.
Right.
And I started, something popped up where people were like dancing around, and I'm like, what is this? And it looked fun and cute. I started following different people, and it looked like fun, but I didn't think I could, really get into it. It's like another social media thing. And, Facebook wasn't, I didn't do that great on there. And, as I thought, another one to like feel like it's never enough. And like, how many people are watching? Nobody's watching, nobody's saying anything, that kind of thing. So I figured, so I just kind of, I had this little sticky book invention with the little post-it notebooks. And I thought, well, I'll just promote a little sticky book on TikTok. Yeah, I'll do little skits because people are doing funny skits. And, I always, was like a wannabe, like it looked like fun to be an actress. So I thought I could make funny skits and I can edit them. And so I kind of started out doing silly little things. And then one day this young woman was sang this beautiful version of let's see, what was Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. And I just couldn't resist. I thought, oh, I got to try one of these duets, because on TikTok you duet. It's very interactive with other users. You like add things to theirs, and they could add something to yours, and you could like build on it. And there's really amazing creative people on this app. Like, it's the most creative place that I ever found, like real people doing really interesting creative things, and it seems very authentic. So I went and did a little, I sang along with her. And when she like suddenly like answered back or noticed it and said something back to me, it was like such a rush that somebody that like appeared that maybe they were successful because, they had thousands of followers, and they like noticed me. And it was like, oh, she noticed, she listened, and she even said lovely. And that made me so happy. And all these young girls started like commenting. I'm like, what is this place? It's full of young people. You get off on being noticed. And suddenly I thought, well, it's going to drive me crazy if I'm just doing this to be noticed, because it will never be enough. And I thought, what can I do? And it came to me really strongly that I have to be the one giving. Like, if I could be the giver, and I could be the one noticing someone and telling them that was lovely, then it might be enough. Like, it might feel good and never be like, how come there's not more? Because when you take, it's never enough. But when you give, it seems to be very satisfying. So all of a sudden I started making videos thinking I'll give them something to sing to. So I came up with like a harmony video, and all these young kids started duetting it and like putting on the lead melody. And I would go to each one and tell them that was so beautiful, I loved it. And they would be excited. And I started thinking that I was like affecting one little tiny person at a time. And, maybe there would be thousands of them, but one at a time, there's like real person there that got happy that I noticed something they did. And that's been like my motivation. And I try to keep to it, because as the numbers grow bigger, it starts, I don't know, you kind of slip into like, well, why wasn't this one get as many views as that one? I'm like, no, it's not about the views. It's not about that. It's just like, what are you giving? So read the comments, like them, say something back to these people. And that's what this is about for me. So I started having that kind of mindset, and this is my third year, and little by little it just keeps growing. And
but it's grown dramatically, right?
Yeah, it kind of, TikTok is a strange little thing. It kind of toys with you. Like, it'll let you grow, and then it'll put the brake on and start like making you not grow, and then it goes up again, and you're like, I'm still haven't figured out like whether this is like messing with us on purpose, or this algorithm is just to keep us humble or something. But little by little, I kind of like stalled at 500,000 and nothing was happening. Then it got to 8 and it didn't go anywhere, 800. And I'm thinking, oh, I would love to get to 1 million. And it seemed like that took another year, you know.
But
So
it's only
it's not
been
like
but it's only been 3 years, right?
yes, it's only been like I've been on it. This is my third year.
So in 3 years or less, you have garnered what, a million plus? Is it
Million point two.
1.2 million? Okay,
Yeah.
which is not chicken feed. I mean, that's,
No, it's a lot of people.
you know, I joke with some of the people that come to our songwriting events that, you know, the girl I used to anyway, when you were there, I would joke that, you know, all of you young people who are here and you're all like social media experts supposedly, and you're making all these videos on YouTube and TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, and I would bet none of you have as many followers as that lady behind the camera there. And that fascinated me that,
I
you know,
remember.
what are you doing that they should know how to do? So you're saying, first of all, make it about giving something that they want to engage with, right? And TikTok, how long are the TikToks that you make? There's a limit, right? There's a time limit.
There's not really there used to be a limit. It was like a minute, and then they made it 3 minutes to like create something like live, like, you know, record something. But now you can upload something 10 minutes. So they're expanding. But you know, the ones that are longer, you know, no one's going to stick around that long usually, you know. But normally my average a minute. You know, I can get a verse and a chorus in a minute pretty easily, you know.
Well, and of
so I
course,
know the first person chorus of a lot of songs now.
and these are I want to talk about original songs in a second, but you started by doing cover songs.
Oh yeah, that was
almost
the whole idea
exclusively.
that
And
they
that's
don't want to
really,
hear.
they don't want to hear that, do they? They want to hear,
No,
they want to hear cover songs.
yeah, I mean they didn't care about my songs, but I knew, like, since I like listening to new music, I like picked something that was playing a lot. My first thing I did for real was July by Noah Cyrus, and I remember loving that song. And it was probably shocking that this old lady was singing one of their songs, you know.
But
It's
that's
like
part of it.
yeah, because it's like validating, like when the parents are like we don't like, oh, what kind of music is you listening to? And all of a sudden you get this grandma that's like loving their favorite song. So there's something about that was the first appeal.
So let's talk about, as you started to grow, at some point, people of some celebrity, singers and songwriters, people with big careers started noticing you as well. Tell me about that.
Oh, that takes it, like, that's where I kind of try not to let that like make my, you know, the only thing I really want is validation from the artist who I just covered. Like, that's the most exciting thing when you cover somebody and that person says something about your cover of their song.
Right.
Like, it's like the validation I'm hoping for, but you know, you don't always get it, of course, hardly.
But you have
But when
gotten
you
it.
do, oh, I have it in a giant way. Like, I got, like, Billie Eilish did a little crying
Billie
emojis.
Eilish. Oh my God.
Seriously, and her brother Phineas, both of them commented. He kind of said, I forget what he said. It was like, made me cry or something like that. And then so that blew my mind. And Taylor Swift has said beautiful on when I covered one of her songs. And then it's really exciting when the artist like will duet with you. Like that happened to me with Julia Stone. You know, Angus and Julia Stone. Are you familiar with them?
I don't know them, I don't think, but that's not the only Julia that you did something with, right? Didn't
Julia.
Michelson,
Ingrid Michaelson.
Ingrid Michaelson. I'm sorry.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did. I did something on hers. Like, she sang a song and I duetted it, and all of a sudden she kind of like shared it on her Instagram or something, you know. And that was like a super exciting thing. And then and the latest thing just now, just what happened last week is Amber Run, the guy that did I Found, the song I Found Love, where it wasn't supposed to be right in front of me, talk some sense to me. Do you know that song? It's gorgeous.
No,
song.
it's a pop song.
And I don't know what you'd call it, but his name, the band's name was Amber Run. And I did that one a couple of years ago. And I guess his buddy sent it to him just recently. And he did a duet where he's just kind of watching while I'm, I'm on one side, he's on the other. And then he puts in the description better than the original. So that kind of blew my mind. And
he wrote better than the original.
Isn't that funny? And he's one that did the original. So I always feel bad when someone says better than the original. I'm like, don't say that. I don't want the artist to see that. Don't do that. But yeah, Ben Abraham is one of my favorite
Okay,
singer-songwriters.
so
And
let's talk now. Ben Abraham, that spiraled into something greater than just.
oh, yeah, I got to get on stage and sing with him when
Well,
he
tell me
performed in
about that.
Los Angeles.
That's a wonderful story.
Yeah, and I kind of stuck my neck out. It wasn't like he came knocking at my door, but one of his songs that I loved is called Satellite. And he's, like when I do one of his songs, he'll see it. Oh, what told me that Ben Platt sent him my link to one of his songs. That's how he found out about me. Because Ben Platt, Ben Platt?
Yes.
You know who that is?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. It's like he followed me in the very beginning. I'm like, why is Ben Platt following me? This must be a mistake. Like he must have pressed the button by accident. And because I've covered several of his songs, and he'll kind of once in a while say something, sometimes he won't. But he went and told Ben Abraham, like, watch this ladies, cover the song we wrote, because he wrote it with Ben Abraham. This what was it called? Oh my gosh, I should have that sitting here. When I sang this, it was really, really a sweet song. And anyway, so I reached out to him when I knew he was going to do his world tour and it was going to start out in LA. And I said, Ben, if I come to LA, can I get up and sing with you? And he's like, yes, yes. And he goes, let's try to make that happen. Not sure, but let's try. And before he knew it, he said, do it. And I got my ticket. Well, I think I got my ticket before he even answered. I'm like, I'm coming either way. I bought a ticket. I'm going to be there. So I'm going to wave to you from the audience. Yeah, I did. I really did. I had someone to stay with. So
where was the show? In Hollywood somewhere?
It was at a place called the Moroccan Lounge.
In Hollywood?
Moroccan Lounge, it was a cute little venue. And then when and he put me kind of toward the end, and I got to be in the green room with him and the backup singers. So that was like in heaven. I was in heaven in this atmosphere, and trying not to be too nervous. And then I get up there, and I guess when he announced me, he said, that, he started saying something about TikTok and my name, and like people like suddenly screamed out in the audience. Like they knew some of the people in the audience knew me. Yeah. Yes. That like blew my mind. So that was like one of the highlights of my musical life.
Something else,
I got to get up on stage.
Something else happened that you told me about one time regarding gaining a whole lot of Russian followers. How did that happen?
Yeah, I did a 21 Pilots song. Now, oh man, my memory is going. But whatever the 21 Pilots song was, like out of the woodwork, like suddenly my followers, like half of them were from Russia. And all these comments were in Russian. I'm taking all this because at that point I was trying to like at least read every comment and like it. I mean, there could be hundreds, then it got to be thousands, and then it got to be like too many, and it would be like, oh no, now I can't do that thing where I'm touching them and making them be happy that I like their comment. I can't do that anymore. Now what do I do? And it's like you just sometimes have to do the best you can. So they started asking, well, can you sing something in Russian? So I went and learned a Russian song, like, because I'm Lithuanian and I can like make those kind of sounds, but I didn't know what I was singing. I did this phonetic, like just memorize, the phrases.
So
and I pulled off this song.
You recorded a song in Russian.
I did. It was like an old army, like a war, beautiful little song from wartime about this girl who's singing about her soldier. And it's really a beautiful song. And I pulled it off, and they thought I was really Russian. But then that kind of made more Russian. Just very recently have my followers been not mostly Russian. Like now I think there's like half of them are now American. They're not like 60% from Russia. So and I even put down in the hashtag, I am not a Russian spy in that video.
You have managed to find these little angles to use that I'm sure other people use, but they may not all totally be unique to you. But not everybody has 1.2 million followers. That's why I'm calling you and Zooming with you right now, because I'm so impressed. In fact, I don't personally know anybody with that many followers on TikTok. And as this show is called, Show Me the Money in Music, that has indeed translated to some sponsorships and some actual payments from TikTok. Yes.
Yes, I remember when the payments first started. I don't remember how many followers you need to like get into their, where the creative marketplace where they start like sharing money with you, but it's like 5 cents a day, 2 cents a day, 3 cents a day. You'd see these little things, and by the end of the month, you made like $1.75, and that was kind of fun. But then all of a sudden, I noticed, like, look at this, I had a $3 day. Like, what happened? What did I do? And you'd go back and like, oh, that was that video. And then little by little, these numbers like got bigger and bigger. And when and then, then I started doing other things that weren't always music related, because people started to want to know like about my personal life. It seems like TikTok people just want it to be real. And I think one of the things that this is maybe discouraging that I'm telling you as a musician, it's like I'm not really trying to push a big musical career. I'm not showing what I'm writing every day, and this is coming out.
They don't
this
want
week.
that. They don't want that.
Well, I don't know if they don't, but the followers maybe feel threatened, to see other people like, oh, this is their new song and they're releasing it, and I'm not. Like, I feel like I'm probably zero threat to emotionally to any of these kids that see me. I'm this old lady that everything's like the career is behind me. I'm just enjoying music, like totally enjoying it enough to just sit around all day and like come up with new songs and play them. And that, I think that's maybe the draw for me. If I was like pushing my latest recording and this is on Spotify and go listen, it might not have happened, So I don't know what to say about the struggling artists that are trying to like launch a career. So anyway, so then I started doing other things. They want to see like what I'm eating. Like show us what you eat. So that I did a couple of random videos on me showing my steamed broccoli, and that like took off. And all of a sudden that day I got $50, $50 to show my broccoli to, a million people. It was crazy. And then huh?
How many followers did you have before you started like showing them things other than music? Were you already at 1 million?
I was already up like around probably over 500,000, like maybe around 6 or 7, like 800. It was kind of stalled at 800. And I started just because I made some story and they're like, oh, that was great. Tell us. I'm like, really? You really want to hear my stories? Because if I could sing to you and tell you like what I'm doing, that would be really fun. Like I would enjoy that, because it's much less work than learning a song and practicing a song and spending the time. And I could just turn it on and go, okay, I came up with this great recipe. Look at this. You could put this on this. Look how delicious. Bye. And all of a sudden, bam, So it was kind of discouraging because the songs would take long, and some like getting a sample of a tomato wedge at the deli, it get 10 times more views like instantly. So I kind of wasn't sure how to look at that. Like, I guess it's okay. It is what it is.
So it seems like, because I don't know TikTok, this is just an assumption that I'm making, but it seems like the popularity of TikTok, or the demand on TikTok, they want to watch something authentic. They want to see you. They want to see you in your real habitat, right?
Yeah.
They don't want to see. They don't want to see you on stage and all lit and doing. That's what's different about it, really, right? Is they want to see.
It really is
You in your authentic world.
And you'll get comments like, so it's so real, so real. Like that's a very common thing to hear. It's so real.
That's awesome.
Don't we all wish we could like, be a fly on the wall in some of these people's lives that we love so much,
yes,
the people that we admire. But we're not going to, they're probably not going to do that. I don't know how many people have tried that, that are already really famous. Do they really want that?
So let's go back to the compensation part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, you were getting pennies and then dollars a day, and now you're into hundreds of dollars a month, sometimes high hundreds of dollars.
It'll be a couple of $100 a month. Like I could, assume I'm going to get at least a couple hundred, and 1 month I got 500. And that's like for just doing something I love anyway, although if it wasn't for TikTok, I don't think I would be sitting around playing guitar for hours a day learning a cover. I mean, that's the reality. So maybe that's why it's not that real, because that's not what I really do. Because, I always felt like what's fun of singing if there's no one to sing to? That was where I was at, right. Like as old as I was, and how things are like, I guess it's all behind me. I'm not going to just sit and sing to myself. So this has been the most amazing thing to suddenly have some real people to sing to. And I feel like they're real people. I'm as real as I am.
They are real people. And so you've got a million point two, and that's translated into hundreds of dollars a month in income for you. But not only that, you have gotten some sponsorships as well, right? And
Yes.
companies have asked you to make TikToks for them, right?
Yes. I received a set of electronic drums and from Donner Music, and I did a video with them, and they gave me a couple $100 and a set of drums. So that was like a riot.
They gave you 2 sets of drums, as I recall.
Yeah, they did, because my little nephew's kid was part of the video, and they sent kind of 2 by mistake, and they're like, just keep it and give it to the kid. So he got a set and I got a set, and
but
so that was fun. And then a vitamin company came to me and said, we like your videos. You want to partner with us? And I'm thinking, oh, vitamins. I don't even swallow pills. Like, am I going to start like selling out and just show things I don't even use? Like, I was worried about that. I'm like, but it's money. But I don't know. That's where I wanted to keep it real. So I'm like, I have chewable pills. What if they don't even make chewable pills? So I went to my cupboard to see what kind of pills I take, because I take some vitamins, and it was the brand that was asking me to do it. So I was like, what?
It was the same brand?
Yeah, the same brand, Nature's Way. I'm like, well,
Oh
that's going to
my
be the
God.
video. I'll just say that I didn't want to really do it unless I really meant it. And then there it was. I already used this
You
product.
were already a customer. That's fantastic.
So that worked out. So I got
really...
a nice chunk of money for that. And
I mean, that was like more than a few $100s.
Well, it was $2,500.
Right.
That blew my mind.
So, I mean, you are showing me the money in music right now. You have found a way to make, literally over the course of these few years that you've been doing it, thousands of dollars from your home. You're not out in clubs. You're not doing anything other than posting yourself and your little vignettes on TikTok. And it's resulted in, you're kind of famous. Before I go any further, would you tell me and tell our watchers and listeners, how can they find you on TikTok?
Algie Powers. So you'll just have to spell it ALGIE, just like that grows in the ocean, algae, but it's spelled with an IE instead of AE.
Yes, it's not spelled the same.
Powers.
ALGIE Powers, right? POWERS.
Yes.
And Algie has some serious powers in the TikTok world. TikTok world.
Now.
Now the TikTok should have you do a TikTok. Now that would be good, if you could.
Oh, wouldn't that be interesting?
I would do that. TikTok. What, before I let you go,
TikTok.
I wanted you to tell the story about, of course, I'm going full circle now, back to our times at the Durango Songwriters Expo, when you were the videographer and you were just taking videos of other people, and you personally were never on camera, and people didn't know who you were, or didn't know anything about your TikTok career. But we have all these industry people from all over sometimes all over the world, but usually from New York, LA, or Nashville, because those are the hubs. And one of the industry people said, oh my God, I know you. You're Algie Powers from TikTok, right? Tell me that story.
Yeah, that was wild. I was like thinking, I got all these covers. Maybe I should make like some kind of a thing, a link that on a card, QR code that goes to my link. And I could say, I got all kinds of covers. You guys use covers, right? And I'll present that to the industry people. I'm like, I was kind of nervous about the idea, but this is what I'm going to try to do next time I go to the expo. And all of a sudden, this girl comes up to me and she's like, Algie, oh my gosh, is it really you? I'm like I'm thinking, she's like, oh, I follow you on TikTok. And I'm like, oh, and I look down and she's wearing a red thing, like she's one of the industry people. So that blew me away. Jessica.
So all of the people there came to see her and people like her, but she came there and she knew you and she recognized you and she was thrilled to meet you. That is very, very strange. And that's got to be really rewarding when you know that the kind of people that you're reaching with your videos. And what's the future look like? How are you going to get to 2 million and then 5 million? We have 10 minutes left.
Well, see, this is where I don't think about that. Like, I can't be like, this is where it's not enough. And I'm like, well, now I want to be verified. That I would love to be verified.
What does
You
that
get
mean?
that means you get a blue check and you become like some kind of like legit person. Like, and
Influencer
then
kind of?
in what?
It like makes you an official influencer or
Well,
something?
just official in that if anybody sees like a comment or anything by a blue check, like they just know this is person's like
Somebody.
established. Somehow they've made it somehow,
Right.
And I don't know. I've seen accounts with like millions, like 7 million followers and still no check mark. So that might never happen. But I'm already starting to like think, oh, I wonder if I will. And when is it going to be 1.3? And that's where I can't go there. I got to have to like shake it off and go, come on, Algie. Like, who needs me to like their comment and say something back? And they're like, oh my gosh, I was so sad and that made me so happy, or I really needed to hear your song. I can't believe you answered me. Like, this is all I can do right now. And I don't know really where this is going to go.
So, so you're just going to keep giving because in
Yeah,
giving, you're getting, and that's a wonderful.
it's enough. Giving it makes you feel like it's enough. It satisfies you. But when you're just taking, it's never enough.
Right. You're
No
right.
matter how much you're getting, it's like,
You're
well, I need
insatiable.
more.
Yes.
Yes. And so I'm gonna try to keep giving. And it's not like every day you're like, oh, some days you're like, oh, am I really doing anything? Am I just like delusional? And then I'll read. I mean, I have a journal of like my favorite comments. And when I see one that especially touches me, I'll put it in there because I feel like, I mean, when I first started the journal, it's like, this app is not going to be around forever. Like, it's going to disappear one day. It's like, we all kind of wonder if it is.
Can you
And
tell
so
me?
I better have.
Can you tell me one of the ones that you saved that was particularly gratifying?
Yeah, it was like I was afraid of getting old, and now I'm not afraid anymore.
Oh my
So
God.
that's like really touching.
That is very, very touching.
Really touching. And like, are you giving me hope for my future? Now I'm, not afraid to be old.
How many hours a day, or you do it every day?
Do what?
Make TikToks every
Oh
day?
yeah, like I kind of try to do one a day, but the days that I don't get around to it now, in the beginning they're like, you got to make 4 a day, to even get anywhere. And I'm like, that is kind of impossible. Unless I wanted to do a video of like a song and then show a blooper and then show what I'm eating and show something while I'm driving. Okay, I got 4 videos, that kind of thing. And it's fun. It's fun to have a bunch going on in the day because when I have a busy TikTok day where I'm uploading things and then I go to see like who's saying something or answer, like, I don't know, it makes me happy. And the days that I'm like, oh, I can't do TikTok today, they're kind of like sadder. So there's something amazing about being a part of that world.
Well, Algie Powers, I am just so in awe of everybody, which is why I'm creating this program. I'm so in awe of people that find unique ways to find their muse, to find what feels good in the arts, but also get some kind of reward from it other than feeling good, because it's so, as you know, you've been a musician all your life. It's a tough way to make a living. You have to find different avenues to take, paths to take, and other than the obvious ones of standing on stage and hoping somebody pays you or tips you or whatever, because that's the only way I ever knew to make music. But now there's lots of ways, and we're talking about them. And I know nothing about TikTok, but you, to me, are the expert in my world of TikTok. And I thank you so much for doing this little show with me. And we'll have you back on when you get up another 500, 600,000, or when you get a part, you get a cameo in a movie or something because of your TikTok.
Yeah. When something happens in the real world, I'll let you know. So I'll tell you the latest.
Keep us informed. And for our listeners, go look up Algie Powers on TikTok, ALGIEPOWERS, and look at all the things that she has done and she is doing to make hundreds, really thousands of dollars now, not hundreds of dollars. And it's all happened in less than 3 years. And TikTok is for children, for kids, for young people. And by her own admission, although she looks 12, she's much older than that.
I'm way old. Should we say how old I am?
She's a much older.
I'm 70.
Oh my God. Happy birthday, Algie.
Yes. You know what I did like a year ago on my birthday? I can't believe I did it. I did a TikTok and I said, happy birthday to you. No, to me, happy birthday to me. If everybody gave me $1, how amazing that would be. And I really thought for a second, like, what if 600,000 people gave me $1 on my Venmo? Like, I might as well try. And I got like $120.
Okay,
So,
but that's
yeah, like,
that's
and a lot of that was,
$120 that you didn't have.
I
You
know,
know,
I
most
know.
people in the
So
real world have to actually do some physical work that's unpleasant to make $100, you know.
that's true.
And you have found I'm just amazed. And I thank you so much for joining us. We're running out of time on this particular segment, but I have enjoyed our friendship. We've known each other for so many years now. And I'm just so impressed with what you have done as a 70-year-old, a senior citizen in this
Seriously.
world of teens, you know,
I
and
know.
20 somethings, and they love you.
You know what's funny? I gotta tell you real fast. Like they started. I seen comments like, you make TikToks like a Gen Z, like a Gen Z. I'm like, what are you saying? What does that mean? And someone was real specific. It's like the editing and the angle. Do you know that there's different angles? Like
Yes.
the Gen Z are like this, so everything is like from below. And if you're a boomer, you're like this. And I guess generation whatever the other one was like straight on. So like I seem to like end up from below, and that was like what helped me like be cool like them, because it was crazy.
So this is Algie Powers, our 70-year-old friend who is living like a Gen Zer, right?
That's right.
You're living a life of the same as the kids. Thank you so much, Algie, for doing this, and I'll let you know where you can see it, and
Okay.
maybe you'll get a few more listeners out of it, and
Yeah.
I think this
Come
will
say
be
hi and I'll comment back.
this will be a big help to our listeners to know a little bit more about TikTok. Thanks, Algie. I'll talk to
All
you
right.
soon, man.
See you
Okay.
later. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.